to another smoke session.
What up, people?
I'm your boy, Brother Jam,
Brother Black, hi.
Brother Los on the cam.
and we are the Daily Smoke. Thank you, as always, for joining us on the smoke session. And I have a somber note.
You're going to
I
drop
mean, might as well. You know
drop.
me.
I wanted to ask you that earlier.
I don't beat around the bush, man.
They gonna know sooner or later.
Yeah,
Right.
go for it.
So what we're doing right now, folks, is we're going to put the smoke sessions on a hiatus.
Mhm.
Now, it doesn't mean we're never going to do another smoke session again, but it means that, honestly, enough of y'all aren't watching. So we're going to try a few other things. And
Switch it up a little.
we do have some things coming up for y'all that I think y'all are going to enjoy, that we're going to do as alternative to the smoke sessions, and who knows, maybe the smoke sessions will be back at some point in the future, or maybe we'll come up with something different. But I will give y'all a little sneak peek preview. We have 2 new shows coming up for y'all from the Daily Smoke. And that's all you're going to get for right now. So even though the smoke sessions is going to be going away, I'm still going to be bringing y'all something almost every day.
Yep.
So just keep with us, y'all. And we're going to try to give y'all some things that I think you'll enjoy. But that's,
With that out the way.
yeah, that's out the way. So how you been doing, brothers? How y'all been, man?
Shit. Finally got some rain today. Rain
Oh,
Rain
man.
today.
Yeah, it cooled it off just enough too. Cause now it's like comfortable.
Right.
Yeah, we not sitting here in pools of sweat like we normally do
You know, right?
Yeah.
filming this. So that I definitely won't complain about that. Only thing is, honestly, I wish I had been home to
Enjoy it.
while it was raining.
Getting knocked out.
But I was at work when it was raining, so it is what it is.
And the thing
Y'all
is,
donate to the Cash App, so that way I don't have to go to work no more, and I can just do this full time.
Plus, that's when they can continue to watch to see what new is coming.
Oh yeah, because trust me, we got some good stuff coming for y'all, man. Definitely.
Check out the website.
Check out the website.
www.thedailysmoke@gmail.com.
No,
That's the Gmail.
that's the Gmail.
Plus, you've got the dots in between the thing.
It's www.thedailysmoke.com. Gotcha.
THA.
I get them because so many does and dots and does and dots.
Right.
And of course, as always, like I said, you got the Cash App, $TD Smoke. Y'all do want to donate, because like I said, even though this is going on hiatus, doesn't mean we're not going to be bringing y'all content. We do have some other things coming up in the works for you, and I think y'all going to really enjoy it. Stay tuned. We trying to do bigger and better things for y'all.
For y'all.
That you'll watch. Yeah.
Man. But all right, man. Okay.
Let's go ahead and dive into it. That's for sure.
Okay. Now, all right. For those who don't know, maybe you just clicked on a random episode. We talk about Obi Wan Kenobi. And okay, so I subtitled this episode. I called it "When Teachers Attack." That's what I called it. When Teachers Attack. Because I mean,
That's kind of what it was.
it was really a teacher who fucked up a student, and that student turned out really, really bad. And then you go and try to beat their ass like they wrong. You did it.
You taught me this way.
You the one that did it. You the one that made me mad.
And realistically, dude, all they would have had to have done was made Anakin a master. They just refused. They kept him as a Padawan, and they would never give him the rank of master. And if you had given him the fucking rank of master, then the Palpatine wouldn't have been able to get his claws in him like he did.
You sure? Because I'm pretty sure. I know when his mom got fucked up. I think that kind of.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Anakin had his leanings towards the dark side.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he didn't. But if you think about it, what did Obi-Wan even say during the show? He said, your need to prove yourself was your downfall.
Mm-hmm.
He kept trying to prove himself to the Jedi Council, and they kept rejecting him. No matter what amazing feat he pulled off, some battle on a faraway planet,
You're doing too much, bro.
yeah, he managed to
agree with him.
yeah, he managed to pull out of his ass a victory when nobody else could have done it. Yeah, that was great, man. We appreciate you. Thank you for doing that for us. You still a Padawan.
Thank you for the great job. But
That would piss you off.
And then,
after a while.
and so you have somebody. It's just like we talk about children, and you don't get at home. You go out and look for it in the streets.
mm-hmm.
The Jedi Council was home. They wasn't giving them the recognition. If they had just gone along and said, "Okay, we're gonna acknowledge you, man. You're doing an amazing job. Thank you, brother. We appreciate it." When Palpatine came over talking his slick shit, he wouldn't. He may not have been so susceptible.
Hey, boy,
you would
forget
have to
about
find
that.
another Darth.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Come over to my side. You know, I appreciate you. Come over to my side.
But
But you know
okay.
the story got to have a bad guy. He was the perfect bad guy.
I mean, okay.
He knew all the good guys, and he was like, "Fuck
He
y'all."
was a
So,
chosen
okay.
one.
So let's get into this. All right. So we got part 3 because if y'all remember from our previous episode where we talked about the first 2, you know we've already gone over episode 1 and 2 since they released those together. So and we'll put a link up for the previous episode for those of y'all who might want to go back and watch it because that was after we had only saw 1 and 2, so we didn't even know where they was going to wind up going with this. But
Yeah.
honestly,
It picked up for me, it picked up a little in the third episode. Just a smidge.
But that's what somebody was saying, that when they watched 3, it's like, okay, you know what? I'll watch 4.
I'll give it a chance.
Let me go on.
I think that was David. I
Right.
think that was
Yeah.
David.
He said,
Yeah.
Even Ron said the same thing.
Even Ron.
But see, okay, and you know me, I'm different. I watched 3 and I was just like, okay,
Whatever.
Good.
because the only reason why people keep referring to 3 is because that was the first episode where Darth and Obi-Wan fought
For the first
briefly.
time.
Okay.
But
Real briefly.
that fight made me mad. But okay, anyway, so let's start off. So, okay, beginning of the episode, you know, you got your opening, blah 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 blah, intro. And then you got if you number 2 for me, Los, is your boy Obi-Wan meditating after his realization that Anakin is alive at the end of episode 2. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he realizes Anakin's alive and he's trying to now search his feelings and meditate and get in touch with himself. Well, now, because he's used the Force again, Anakin's also aware of it. And so what they do is they do some jump back and forths while Anakin's in the back of the tank.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's trying to meditate and they're like catching
Each other.
flashes of each other
other.
across the Force. You know what I'm saying? So he can't even meditate in peace now because just shit is fucked up.
I did like that reveal of what Anakin being in the tank and then putting on the full Darth Vader suit.
Yeah.
That
was
actually
cool.
that was cool.
Like
the
the
end of the last show.
with the mechanical arms where it was
Yeah.
pulling the wires and stuff out of his back.
Yeah,
No,
and, then
that-
the
yeah.
and then the
Yeah,
helmet
but it-
coming down. Yes, that was nice.
But we also get to see for the first time in this episode his Vader's palace.
Oh yes,
And he made it on
The
Mustafar.
tower. The tower.
The same planet where he got burnt up. And that's what number 3 is. That's his throne room. And he was talking to Reva via hologram in that scene because she was reporting into him that they had some idea, I think, as to where Obi-Wan might have gone, so they was still on his trail.
Yeah, she was kind of jumping over the Grand Inquisitor's head. And like, I'm gonna be the first one to report this, so I can get the good points.
Right? So you know with the Sith, it's all about the brownie points.
Yep.
Right. But okay, so if you remember from the last episode, Haja, which was the fake Jedi.
I like him.
Me too.
I like him.
He was a fake Jedi. He had given them directions to get onto a ship, Obi-Wan and Leia, to get onto this cargo ship, and he said where it takes you, go to when the planet takes you to, go to this specific spot, and there'll be some help. So he trusts this person who he knows is a con man.
Well, Leia trusted him.
No,
first,
people
so.
think he's a Jedi. He makes them think.
Yeah, he makes people think he's a Jedi.
Yeah,
he
you have
uses magnets and remote control.
Make it feel
So
he's
like when a
Cosman.
man, he make it like he using the
Always a
fake force.
Cosman, no matter what galaxy.
But he ended up being a good con man.
But
he
he
had a
did-
good.
but-
He had a good heart.
Yeah, he down because once he realized that Obi-Wan was a real Jedi, he was like, "Oh shit! Like you're the real thing." 'Cause he has real respect for Jedi's, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he basically gave him these instructions, but of course Obi Wan was kind of like doubtful, like, I know you're a con artist.
And then Leia, she's like, "Oh, I trust him. Let's go."
But they go, and when they get to the planet, it's a Sith-controlled planet. If you could, number 4, Los. So basically, what winds up happening is they wind up being out in this field in the middle of nowhere, looking for the help that Haja told them was gonna come. Nobody shows up, so they're stuck. Basically, a transport pulls up. The guy was like, "Hey, we need to get out of here." Obi-Wan was like, "We need to get out of here." It's like, "Okay, we're going to come up with this plan where you're going to be my daughter, but you don't talk, and I'll do all the talking, so don't worry about it."
And of course, Leia starts talking.
Leia starts talking before the dude even finish his first question, and she do all the talking. She don't even let Obi-Wan talk, and she came up with a better lie than his.
Yeah.
But long story short, so they travel for a little bit, and then some actual stormtroopers wind up getting on the transport too, and they manage to BS their way through that. But then when they get to the checkpoint is when they run into a problem, because
The transport driver.
the transport driver was suspicious of it. And when they get to the checkpoint, he goes up to the guards at the gate and he starts telling them, like, "Hey, man, y'all might want to check these niggas out. That, I heard they was looking for a Jedi. This might be, the guy you looking for."
Well, they actually said they weren't looking for a Jedi. They were just trying to just get.
No, they did say a Jedi. I rewatched it to make sure.
Oh, they
But yeah,
did?
they did. They actually said we're looking for a Jedi. But of course, anybody could be wearing a robe with a hood on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I will say this about Jedi wardrobes, okay, the long flowy hoods, I'm down with that. I would wear that shit.
Right.
Yeah, man.
That looks like that's linen. So
It looked comfortable, and then
it breathes.
when you just don't don't want people to fuck with you, just put a hood up that cover your whole face
keep walking.
and be like, people are like, "Is that even a person in
What
there?"
the fuck is that dude?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put my hands in my sleeves, and I'm gonna have that shit where it's touching the ground, so you can't even see my feet. It's just gonna look like I'm gliding with a
Right.
little bit of a limp, just gliding.
That little stumble.
It's like, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Shut up.
Right.
Fuck you, brother.
Who said it? What did I do?
So they pull up to the checkpoint, and there's a droid there that's kind of like scans you and all this, a security droid. I forgot what it's called, but it was one of those black things with like the red.
Yeah, like almost
camera
like and almost I wouldn't say a tracker, but it's like you don't want to like a security camera. Like
Yeah.
you do not want to be in front of it.
But it pulls up on Obi-Wan to try to scan his face, and just as it's about to scan him and set off an alarm, he pulls out the gat and he starts cutting niggas up. So he takes out the couple of guards. Just as they thinking, okay, we finna try to get away, a whole nother transport pulls up with a bunch of dudes in it. So they get out and they point their guns and they're like, get on the ground, get on the ground.
No.
Obi-Wan goes down, Leia goes down, and just when they think they're captured, you get number 5. Tala steps up. As you can see, she works for the Imperial.
And she's a cutie too.
Oh, okay. Total side note: the actress who plays this part, her name is Indra Varma. Okay, she was in Game of Thrones.
I haven't watched Game of Thrones, so
Okay,
Who was she?
do you remember? Okay, you remember the Viper, right? You remember his not his wife, but his girlfriend, his lover,
That's her?
the mother of his daughters.
Yeah.
That's her.
Okay.
Same chick. She is, and I've been a fan of hers for years, man. Because she's been in a lot of movies over the years. But Indra Varma, oh, she is so beautiful. Yeah. But anyway, so she plays Tala, and Tala is an Imperial trooper who is working for the Resistance, for the people who are trying to help hide Force-sensitive people from the Empire. Because right now, the Empire is basically either any Force-sensitive people it finds, either it tries to convert you to Sith or it kills you. There's no other option.
Oh, so she's on the good side, but she's working for the bad.
But she's pretending to
Yeah,
be for
double
for
agent.
the- yeah.
No,
no,
inside
she's
agent.
probably coming to her senses like, oh, this is fucked up.
Well, and later on in I think it's either the fourth or fifth episode, she actually explains what happened and what made her do this. So she does actually address it, and I thought it was kind of cool that they managed to include that and didn't make it seem awkward. It seemed kind of natural.
Just to know why, like, yo, she's like a high commander.
Right.
Why she trying to betray it? So
But I trust me, I'll get to it. So, then you cut to the Inquisitors, and that's number 6, where basically this is the point where, no. This is when they're trying to figure out where Obi-Wan is hiding, and so they're doing their reports and getting information from different people, and that's when you see some of the rivalry between them as far as competition trying to replace the Grand Inquisitor. Because remember in the last episode, Reva stabbed him. Not killed him,
but
she stabbed him.
Incapacitated.
But we don't know because we haven't seen it since.
Those three will challenge each other.
Yeah, that's the second brother, the third sister, and the fifth sister, I think.
Yeah, the fifth, and Reva's, of course, the third sister.
Yeah, Reva's the third sister. But basically, they was like challenging her, like, oh, so you think you the shit now because you went and talked to Lord Vader? Oh, well, then second brother comes out, and he was like, well, I've talked to Vader, and I told him what's going on, and he told me, this and that and the other. And so it was just like, fine then. Reva was just like, fine then. But he told me to do this. And if you don't think that that's what we should do, that's fine. You go take it up with Lord Vader.
Right.
So she's got the ear of the man in charge, and so she's flexing her muscle a bit. That's what Sith are gonna do.
Yeah. Bicker with each other.
So now we get to one of my favorite parts. So what winds up happening is they, of course, due to the conflict with the guards at that one post, they know Kenobi's on this planet. So Vader comes to the planet. Now, by this time, Tala has gotten Obi-Wan away to the underground. They're hiding in this little back, hidden room of this one shop.
Yeah. Before you go, I did like the robot.
The robot was cool.
It's a little robot. With the
Yeah, it was a big robot.
well, not a little robot, but it's what
it was a droid. It was called. I think they said it was a digger, but it was big.
Yeah,
it couldn't even talk. It didn't make no noises.
No, it was just simply it's supposed to be just a working and just a worker.
But he was working for the Resistance.
Yeah, yes, they reprogrammed him some, but
I mean, it seems it's weird in Star Wars because it's like the robots have personality, but they're not treated like humans. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, like C-3PO,
That's a regular dude.
C-3PO, why can't I say his damn name? C-3PO talks, acts, interacts, and does everything like a regular person.
Like a prissy British mug.
But they periodically wipe his memory. You wouldn't do that to a person. You do that to an object.
That's what they
Reboot.
Because part of if you think about it, if you remember, I forgot which one it was, but in one of the Star Wars movies, that was the whole problem with R2-D2, is that he was a droid who had been used and had gathered so much. No, I might be thinking about a Clone Wars. But he had been used and his hard drive contained a lot of tactical information, and nobody had ever bothered to wipe it.
So it stayed.
So when he got captured by the Empire, they had to get that nigga back. It was like, okay, yeah, it's a droid, but we can't let him go.
Yeah, you got the diagrams of the Death Star,
and then of course they still wanted to wipe his memory afterwards. Like, we can get him, and your boy Anakin was like, we can get rid of the tactic data, but we ain't wiping it.
Even B.
Because, I mean, he's developed, him and Anakin was always tight.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. With droids in the Star Wars universe, it's a little gray area.
Didn't Anakin,
yes.
he created
them.
So, yeah, of course, you see that attachment.
Yeah. But okay, so they the Empire tracks him to this planet because of the conflict that they had with the guards. He's being hidden in the with the underground, the resistance, and they learn that there's what they call the path, and it's these network of not just tunnels, but network of people who help force sensitive folks escape, and by that token, they also help some of the remaining Jedi escape. And in the room that they wind up hiding in, there's writing on the walls that are from some of the other Jedi. And you see, you're able to, for I've seen videos where people have translated the writing and it's names of some of the Jedi that we know. You know, so that kind of, it's a cool way to just kind of work it in that, hey, some of those people you've seen in Clone Wars and Bad Batch and all of this.
Yeah.
Some of those other Jedi, they're still around. They're still kicking. They're just out. They're in hiding, just like Obi Wan was. You know, so that part was kind of cool. But by far, I will say my second favorite scene from this entire series, when Vader shows up on this motherfucking planet, dude.
You can feel his presence.
Number 7, Lowe's.
Starts fucking motherfuckers up.
Dude, your boy Vader hit the street. All the people had already run inside the buildings. They was hiding because he's, you know, the Inquisitors was there. Not only was the Inquisitors there, but Darth Vader was there. So they was already in the houses huddling. This dude started walking down the street looking for Obi-Wan. He knows Obi-Wan's there.
So the best way to do it?
Let's torture some random people.
Yep.
Dude, people was in their house. You just get force pulled out through the window into the street and then slammed on the ground or choked or some shit.
Yeah, he actually killed one kid.
He
just brought him out, slammed him against the wall,
broke his neck with the force. Never laid a hand on him. Doing all of this. He dragged one lady just down the street on her face.
While he's walking.
Just, bitch, come on.
And even the Grand Inquisitor, even even the other Grand Inquisitor, Reva, all of them were like, oh shit.
Like, damn, we hadn't seen. And of course, Obi-Wan is watching from his hiding place. But what eventually winds up happening is he can't take watching these innocent people be hurt, of course. So he winds up stepping out,
you know, Vader,
where Vader can just catch a glimpse of him and tries to lead him away from the rest of the village. And that's where they get into their first little fight. And so if you go to number 8, he was using his lightsaber not even as a weapon. He was using the damn thing as a light to try to see his way because he's running in the dark.
Well, that's a glow stick. So,
but then your boy Vader shows up. And of course, he talking shit, and he's like, "Yeah, man. Back then, you was the master." He's like, "But now I've grown." And Obi-Wan was like, "Hey, look, man. I don't want to fight you, dude." He was like, "Okay."
Like, you ain't got no choice, bro.
But Vader wasn't having that shit, and they started going at it, and he was wearing Obi-Wan's ass out.
You remember the high ground? Yeah.
Then some chemicals get spilled on the ground, and he lights them on fire, and then next thing you know, he started dragging Obi-Wan's ass through the fire, like, "Oh, nigga, you want to set people on fire? Let me show you how I feel."
Remember that high ground?
Yeah. So
I was burning. Your turn to burn, bro.
Long story short, fight is real quick. It's over rather quickly. And then Tala and that droid show up, and they manage to cause enough of a distraction, or they set the stuff back on fire and like use it as a wall in between them and Vader, which honestly that shouldn't have worked.
Vader could have easily
Vader could have forced put out those flames. Like, he could have just opened up a path and walked through him. He could have just snatched him again with the Force. That should not have stopped Vader from whooping Obi-Wan's ass.
All right, but, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go cool. Now. I'm gonna let you go.
And then number 10 is you see Vader at the very end. He's standing there with the fire on the ground and watching Obi-Wan and them get away. And so you see the flames reflected on his helmet and shining in his eyes, right? Yeah. That's his burning hatred for Obi-Wan.
That was pretty cool.
So I'm gonna let you run for now.
So then we get into part 4.
Part 4. for it. Yes, let's go.
And it opens up with your boy Obi Wan in the back to tank because he got burned the fuck up.
Number 11.
Yeah, number 11. But while he's in the back to tank, of course, if you watch any Star Wars movies, whenever you see somebody in the back to tank, you do see them usually having either hallucinations or visions of some kind. Because the back to tank has kind of a sensory deprivation element to it. And so it's not uncommon for people when they go into them for healing that they start to have like these visions or hallucinations. And so you start seeing Obi-Wan flashing back to different times and things incidences that he's had with Anakin over the years. And then you see Vader in his back tank,
Number 12.
and he's playing back some of the same kind of scenes in his head where him and Obi-Wan went at it from at different times. So it again, they're playing up the dichotomy. You have one who views the scene from a certain perspective because he was the teacher, and then the other who views the same scene from a different perspective because he was the student. Okay. Then we get introduced to what I was pleasantly surprised because I actually didn't know he was in the show. We get introduced to Roken, number 13, Los.
O'Shea Jackson.
Yeah. O'Shea Jackson.
Ice Cube's son.
For anybody who's unaware, that is Ice Cube's famous baby boy.
Yep.
Just like him.
Right? That nigga is a light-skinned clone of his
Get
dad.
over and shit at that.
Man.
And he even played his dad in what was the
In that NWA movie?
Yeah, he played his.
I never even saw that. But
It actually was good.
I mean, I'm not saying it was bad. I had no inclination to see it. But
He did a good part of doing his dad, playing his dad. But
so Roken is basically a character who is kind of a leader in this resistance that helps the Jedi and Force sensitive hide.
yeah,
And so this is where we get introduced to him and kind of the underground network that they use to get around and help people get away from the Empire. Now, at the same time this is going on, what you also have is Reva actually captured Leia in the, and I think I forgot to mention that, but Leia was captured by Reva in the previous episode when she got separated from Obi-Wan.
yeah, and the way she kind of found out where she was when they was in the little hideout where Obi-Wan and I were, as you said earlier, the little writing or scribbles that were in the wall, she recognized that. And was like, oh shit, oh okay, it's a passage here somewhere. And instead of just running down the same passage that Leia ran down, somehow she ended up bypassing all that and got there before Leia even reached the end of the tunnel. So
She used the Force.
I don't know what she used. It was a transport or something because she got there first. I'm like, how did you navigate this?
Hey man, like I said,
It's some things.
okay, and this is kind of my problem with one of my problems with the show. I'll say that because as much as I want to like it, and in some respects I do like it, I enjoyed it. It was entertaining to watch. But if you had me rank it on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most entertaining, it's probably about a 5.
Yeah.
Maybe a 6 on a good day if I've smoked. Because like it does stuff like this. Like, okay, I get it. Y'all really wanted Reva to be in that position so she could meet Leia and they could have that interaction, and that's cool. But when you really look at it, it doesn't make sense.
Like, how did she beat her to the point?
The end of the yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
But okay,
You can go to 15.
so going to 15. So of course, if you haven't guessed it by now, the main theme of this episode is rescue Leia, since she's been captured by Reva. So they find out that she's on this secret hidden base that they have, and so they're gonna sneak in, and it's a 2-pronged attack. You have Tala using her Imperial cover to get inside, and she's gonna open up some stuff for Obi-Wan to be able to come in, and that's what you see here. because the entrance that he used was underwater. And so he had to swim in with his rebreather, and she just opened up a door. He came up through the thing and was inside the building. So that's how he wound up getting in. And then number 16.
The torture.
Number 16 is Leia strapped to her torture device. Because Reva tried the interrogator. Now, what I thought was interesting is that she tried to mind probe it with the Force.
Yeah.
And she couldn't.
Leia's
defenses are so naturally strong. She was able to block out a full-blown Sith without even trying.
Mm-hmm. That's Leia.
Let that sink in for a minute. This is supposed to be a 10-year-old child. Her mind can stand up to a fully trained Sith Lord. Well, I won't say Sith Lord, but it's
That's what I said. Yeah, look who her father is. So shit.
But see, and that was, and I guess maybe we have to chalk it up to the patriarchy of the time. But honestly, I think Star Wars would have been more interesting if Leia had been the main character.
So she's really not a princess. That's not.
That's not her parents. Well, no, she is a princess because her mom was a princess.
Okay.
Princess Amidala.
Right. So
Mhm.
she is princess.
So she is a princess.
Yeah, she is of royal blood. So
But just think about that. Leia was completely just as capable and as powerful in the Force as Luke was.
Right.
Why was he the one trained and she wasn't?
He's a man.
Exactly. But if you had taken that story and you had turned Leia into the main character, you could have had a completely different narrative. Hell, you could have had them both trained.
yeah,
And been a whole nother story.
yes.
A lot more women watching that shit too.
Think about that, man. If George Lucas had really been thinking ahead, he'd have had them both trained as Jedis, and it would have been
A 2-on-1 battle.
you could have even gone two different directions. You could have had one go light and dark, or you could have had one go light and gray, or something like that. Anything, there was just all kinds of possibilities with that. But
It is what it is.
we get Luke and his brain.
You're not my father.
So, okay, Obi-Wan's going through the secret hidden base trying to find where they got Leia stashed, and at the same time Tala's working on the computer end trying to see if she can figure it out, and they're communicating back and forth. So as he's stumbling around the super secret base, he finds out that they have all the missing Jedi preserved.
And their lightsabers.
So we're pretty sure they're dead, and that's what number 17 is. We're pretty sure they're dead, but I mean, knowing Palpatine,
You don't.
you never know. He was known for extracting blood from other Jedis and using it to help keep himself alive. He was also very big on cloning, creating extra bodies for himself, because he figured out a way to transfer his consciousness to new bodies.
So that's what's perfect way. Bunch of Jedi.
Hey,
People who are already trained in the Force and Force sensitive, all you got to do is just put your memories in the body.
that's a good way to stay alive.
Okay. So what winds up happening, because the TLDR of this is that they wind up finding Leia. They do manage to get away. There is a heck of a fight. I won't say a heck of a fight, but a cool little escape scene where they make it to the landing bay. There's just as they're about to be overwhelmed by the stormtroopers and the Inquisitors, a couple of ships show up.
Yeah, now you got the rebellion.
They call them the Path.
Yeah.
So you got the people from the Path. Roken's team essentially have shown up to help them escape. So their ships are providing cover. They have two ships. One lands to pick up Obi-Wan, Tala, and Leia, and the other one's steady firing. Well, while he's firing, Reva is bouncing the shots back with her lightsaber.
You son of a bitch.
And then when the dude finally turns around to try to fly away, she picks up a battery pack with the Force and chunks it at his ship. And when it hits the back of his ship, it explodes and knocks the ship down.
So
So
yeah,
she managed to take him out.
he took one for the team.
We lost Wade.
He took one for the team.
We lost Wade. But
Rest in peace, Wade.
But of course, Obi-Wan and crew got away. So then, if you jump to number 18, this is where you see Vader showing how pissed off he was about that.
He was pissed
Because he was like, "Bitch, picked her straight." Can you imagine being a pimp with the Force?
Come here, bitch.
Try to run away, bitch. Where my money,
Come right back.
man?
Oh, that backhand was strong though.
Ooh.
From a distance,
Your hand start glowing red.
as she's running.
You have, instead of a lightsaber, you have a light glove.
I like gloves.
Wait till she get halfway down the block and just.
Leave whatever color handprint on her face. Boom, handprint. Everybody knows. Ooh, she got beat. She did something wrong.
She was halfway down the block and still got slapped. I don't know what happened.
If you a pimp and you Force sensitive, then you gonna have a purple lightsaber.
You know right?
That I mean, Mace Windu confirmed pimp status. Okay,
You know?
so you gonna have a purple lightsaber because at the very least you're gonna be gray. You're not gonna be light or dark. You're gonna be gray. So already, purple lightsaber with a fur coat. Your hood got a fur trim around. You carrying a big ass goblet.
Yep. One hand and the Force with the other.
A matter of fact, you use the Force and just have the goblet hover near you at all times.
But now here's where that's what we're finishing up for.
Well, this is where Reva shows her craftiness, her cunning, I guess you could say. Because as she's being punished by Vader, she says, "I can track him." And basically what she's done is she's hidden a tracker on Obi-Wan.
Not on Obi-Wan, but on Leia.
Well, but where Leia goes, Obi-Wan gonna be.
Right.
So if you watch the show, you saw Lola, Leia's little robot, little droid. What they wind up doing is they wind up attaching a piece of tech to that droid that makes it basically turns it into a tracker and allows them to control it. But all right. So that's the only thing that saves her from Vader's wrath is that she got this tracker onto the team.
It was like, okay, if you can.
It's like, so you gonna give me the rebels and you gonna give me Obi-Wan? All right, I'll let you make it.
I'll let it slide.
I'll let you make it.
Let it slide.
So then we jump into part 5.
Yeah.
And part 5 was kind of cool because you start off with flashbacks. Number 19, and it's Anakin and Obi-Wan fighting,
Training.
fighting, sparring,
Yeah, that's a better word.
sparring. And of course, you get to see what it was like between the two of them. And prime example of what I was talking about. So during the little sparring scene, number 20, Los, you see them go back and forth, and they stretch this out throughout most of the episode.
Yeah.
But you see them go back and forth, and then Anakin starts to realize that he has the upper hand, and he's like, "Oh, basically, he's talking a little shit, and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna get you," you know. And at one point, he even knocks Obi-Wan's lightsaber out of his hand. Obi-Wan's sitting there looking like, "Oh, okay," like, "Ooh, you know, you knocked my lightsaber out."
Oh, I guess I'm defenseless. Oh shit.
Does some shit, jumps over him, kicks him or some shit, and then snatches the lightsaber from Anakin's hand using the Force from across the room. So now, not only have I ducked you, jumped over you, took your weapon,
took your shit,
and now I'm standing over you like, what?
no, and also you not just took your shit, and also using the Force got my shit. So like,
You didn't think about that.
And that
What's up?
and that's where Obi-Wan tells him, he's like, your need to prove yourself is what's going to be your downfall. You know,
You gotta use the Force.
well, you got to use Force, but at the same time, you know, he likes to dominate his enemies when he attacks. And but Obi-Wan was trying to get him to understand is it's not always about just brute force. You know, sometimes you can use subtlety. I knew I was going to do this to you. That's why I wasn't concerned when you knocked my sword out of my hand. But either way. Oh, and just for those who might not be familiar with it, I did include a picture of Lola, number 21. So, cute little droid. And when she got turned into a tracker device, her little blue eye right there glowed red, of course.
Yeah.
To let you know she was evil.
Evil Lola.
So, okay. So, they, Obi-Wan, Tala, Roken, Leia, and whatever Wade's partner's name was.
I didn't pay attention.
They all make it to the planet where the next like link in the chain of where the path hides people. And when they get there, there's a whole bunch of refugees waiting because they've been holding this one ship waiting for Obi-Wan and them to get there. And that's when you see number 22 where Obi-Wan reunites with Haja, the fake Jedi. And basically, he tells them, he's like, yeah, after you left, I got into it with that scary Sith lady, he said, talking about Reva. It's like, and yeah, basically I'm wanted by the Empire now, so I just decided to go on the run. You know? And so that part was actually pretty interesting, but okay.
Like one of the most interesting characters.
Here's what you have to understand about these last two episodes, okay? There was only two, in between the two episodes, there's only two things that mattered to me. Everything else was fucking filler, in my opinion.
Same here.
Okay. The only thing that mattered in episode 5 and in episode 6 was the fight between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan. Okay.
Even before we get there.
So, no, I'm not going to jump into it, but I'm just clarifying to why I'm finna skip over some stuff. Because ultimately, if you really want to watch the show, you will benefit from not having all the details. It's interesting, like I said, it's entertaining. It's just that there's some parts of this where they really made some suspect choices. And I'm just kind of like, I wouldn't have done that if I was y'all. But okay. So, what winds up happening is they get trapped on this rebel base. Mm-hmm. Basically, they use Lola, the reprogrammed droid, to sabotage the escape route. They close the ceiling, the hangar doors where the ship would fly out through the ceiling. So then the Sith come to attack. They surround the place. They got it surrounded, and they start using their big guns to try to shoot through this big, heavy metal door. While they're doing all that, the people are inside. They're scared. They're nervous. Obi-Wan's trying to, you know, pep up their spirits and give them a little pep talk. We can survive this. We can do it if we work together. Teamwork, power, teamwork, yeah.
Wakanda forever.
No, this ain't Wakanda. Almost all the motherfuckers were white. No. But
Wakanda.
Stupid.
I can't stand you, nigga.
Okay.
So basically what winds up happening is you get the first indication of how this might end. Because what you find out is when Obi-Wan tries to talk to Reva about some kind of surrender or trying to work out a deal to where maybe he can sacrifice himself and save the other refugees.
Uh-huh.
He realizes at that point that Reva wants to kill Darth Vader.
Yeah, she has that revenge factor.
He knows that's why she's.
He figures it out at that point. He was like, how did you know that he was Anakin? Because remember, in the second episode, she was the one who told him that Anakin Skywalker was still alive.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you know that? Darth Vader does not advertise that he's Anakin Skywalker.
Right.
That's a deep,
really
dark
the
secret.
music, That's what.
Yeah,
Right.
only very few.
Right.
Even his own son didn't know it was him.
Right. It wasn't until Luke, I'm your father, that the rest of us knew. Oh, shit, that's what his name. Oh shit.
So there you go. That's what I'm saying. So this is not common knowledge. And when he remembers that fact, he goes, the only way you could have known was if you were one of the younglings. And that's when we get our confirmation that Reva was one of the younglings that was in the temple when Anakin started executing Order 66 and he was just going through killing kids. He actually stabbed her and left her for dead. But she managed to survive and then became an inquisitor just so she could get close to him so she can try and kill him.
Revenge factor.
She knew it was him because she was there.
Hey, wouldn't you?
I mean, dude, when you saw somebody kill all your friends,
Yeah.
your family, for lack of a better term, because the Jedi Academy takes kids when they're like 4 and 5 years old, and you don't ever get to see your family again.
This is your family.
Right. You get trained and so those other Padawans are your family. But during that process, the Empire starts attacking, and honestly, I've kind of forgotten how it happened, but there's a hallway scene where some stormtroopers are shooting, and the droid goes down, the big burly droid goes down, and Tala's in the hallway, and Obi-Wan's trying to get to her.
Oh, it was during the talk with Reva, with Obi-Wan and Reva, because they were talking. She was on outside of the door. Obi-Wan, of course, was on the inside of the door.
That's right.
And it came to a point because she was asking, "Okay, where were you when all my family being slaughtered?" So she had major beef with Obi-Wan.
She blames Obi-Wan.
You need help?
So she just basically used the lightsaber through the door, cut what was ever holding it there, and that's how the door is open. And this is how the rest of the stormtroopers and all that
They
got
start
in.
coming in through that once she got the door.
Yeah.
So as they're all struggling and fighting, the stormtroopers are about to get everybody. They're about to capture them. So Tala sacrifices herself, and that's number 23, by setting off this explosive.
But that robot, though, if it wasn't for that robot, she would have been taken out a long time ago.
Oh yeah, he
Because-
basically shielded her.
Yeah, the robot was taking damage. Of course, it's getting hit by blasters. And, Reva got injured in the fight. So the robot, they just turned his back on the stormtroopers, walked slowly, still being nailed in the back, walked to Tala, and shielded her. She's wounded, seeing that the pretty much the stormtroopers are getting the best of all of them.
Yeah.
So she decides to sacrifice herself by using a grenade, which is noble. Obi-Wan was like, because a lot of people were like, why didn't you just throw that grenade in the first place? Because it would have been a lot of
Collateral damage.
Yeah, so
I don't know. But either way. Okay. So now we get to my favorite scene.
oh yes, Vader shows up.
And shows the fuck out. Okay. Number 24. Okay. So Vader walks into the hangar. The ship gets ready to take off.
I've never seen Vader force walk talking about just on a mission walk like that. That boat.
He was trying to get it.
He was like,
But
he's in there. All right.
so your boy Vader walks into the hangar just as the rebel ship is taking off, right? You see it coming up off the ground. This fool reaches out with his hand, force grabs the ship, and you hear the engines going.
It's trying to power, and I'm like, nope.
Like, nope. Your boy forces he forces the ship back to the ground. The minute it touches the ground, he does a move like this and rips a chunk out of the side of the ship. He does another one with the other hand, rips out another chunk. Then he just goes like that.
Spit that bitch in half.
He opened that bitch up like a tin can.
And then just to find out that it is empty. The moment he realizes that it's empty, you see the other ship
that was hidden behind it
take off and get the fuck out of there.
Take off and get the fuck out of there.
And he looking at it like, oh, damn you, Obi Wan, you got me again, you son of a bitch.
So, yep, Obi Wan managed to escape. But when I'm talking about just a brutal display of force power. Dude, that scene was...
That's that comic Darth Vader, how strong he is. Now, here's the one thing that I don't even know why she even tried. Reva. Because now it's just Vader looking up at the ship, taking off, like, fuck you, Obi-Wan.
God damn it, I missed it.
Now, she tries to sneak up on Darth Vader. One, that's a no-no. The moment she goes for a strike, he doesn't even turn around to look at her and stops her.
He literally just uses the force and stops her lightsaber. That's crazy. He's like, he said, did you think I didn't know about you?
Right.
And then he calls her a youngling.
Yeah.
He's like, I know exactly who you are, bitch. You know, that's literally how he's talking to her. I know who you are, and I know what you was trying to do. He said, but you was useful to me.
And then said that one line, Obi-Wan was wise to try to use you against me. But he was like, I'm Darth Vader, bitch. So, like, yeah, this is a good try, but you know I'm about to hand you your ass.
Because I'm Darth Vader, bitch. You got to say the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest. Darth and Vader. Yes, you got to say it all together every time.
Now, here's how let me see Vader, how much of a badass he is. Reva, she's trying her best to fucking fight Vader. Vader never takes out his lightsaber. He's pretty much just knocking her back and forth and doing, just blocking it, sidestepping the shit out of her, just using the force. And takes her and then ends up taking her,
knocking her weapon out of her hand.
And then taking her weapon, which is
no.
He's went with the her saber.
She got the spinning ones that the Inquisitors use, and she was doing her spin thing. This nigga Vader stopped the spinning,
slows it down to a crawl.
He stops the spinning, takes the thing from her hand, breaks it in half because it's two, it's a lightsaber on each end. He breaks it in half and then gives her one of the halves back.
He just threw it at her. Here you go.
It's like, come on. I was playing with you before, but now I got a lightsaber in my hand too. Let's go.
And I gotta take some aggression out, so I'm gonna take it out on you. So
dude, and when I'm telling you that was a one-sided battle, she stood no chance.
I don't even call that a battle.
She stood no chance. None.
And then they do the back and forth.
She was like school on Saturday, no class.
And then they do the the one thing that we said earlier with when Obi-Wan was training with Anakin, how Obi-Wan was able, even without a saber, was able to just take I got this one, take yours. Now what you gonna do? And here's the one of the, I would say a good reveal. The original I forget his name. The original Grand Inquisitor actually walks out. It was like, hey, what's up? Remember me? You want to stab?
He said, what did he say? He said, revenge will do wonders for your will to live. Because he was like, bitch, I wanted to get you back because you stabbed me. And I've been working with, and like I told Darth Vader all the stuff. He called her, he said, Grand Inquisitor. Like, oh, you was working so hard to get my job.
And then took the badge back and like, all right.
But Darth Vader wound up stabbing her in the side just like he did when she was a kid. So not only did you weren't fooling him, not only did he know, not only did he use your hate for him against you, but he knew exactly who you was and stabbed you in the exact same way he stabbed you when you all them years ago. Like what?
Lay it down.
Vader is a cruel motherfucker. Oh, yes. I gotta respect that as a villain, man. I will say this about this show. It did make me like Vader a lot more. Because in the original Star Wars movies, really, realistically, Vader was just kind of one-dimensional. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't too much to him. He was just imposing. Yeah, he was just imposing bad guy with the cool voice. Yep. But now you're getting to see some of the anger and things like that he was really
Emotion.
dealing with. Yeah.
And then his true strength. I'm like, oh, that boy was strong.
All right.
Let's move on.
So that was how part 5 ended. And you do see Obi-Wan and them make it out, so they get away. So okay, now remember what I said at the beginning of episode 5. The only thing that mattered to me in these 2 episodes was the combat. And in part 6, we get our showdown.
Oh yes, we do.
Okay. Now I'm gonna give you one sensitive moment. Okay, I'm gonna give you one sensitive moment. Number 26, Lois. So basically, Obi-Wan comes to the realization, he's like, it's got to be me or him. That's the only way this is gonna end. Because this man is chasing me through. Oh, and I should point out.
She don't even know that's her dad.
Right, but I should point out that even though they made it away on the ship's hyperdrive didn't work. So they weren't able to fully get away, and they were just basically like dodging the Empire ship, shooting at them. So he was like, if I leave the ship and I go off, they will leave y'all alone. So like they had like a little escape ship or something like that.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, if you jump in this, you can go. He's like, but don't go. Roken was like, don't go, man. We need you.
He's like, we get to drive back up. No, we still need you.
He's like, nah, man. Y'all need this distraction, and I'm willing to do it. Let's go.
I know Vader. He wants me. So wherever I go, he's going. So
you see the final goodbye between Obi-Wan and Leia in number 26. And this is where he's telling her goodbye because he's finna jump into the little jump ship and go face Vader. So what you see is his ship exit the cargo ship that the rebels was on, and of course Darth Vader's ship follows. Even though the Grand Inquisitor was like,
"Fuck that nigga!"
Like, man, we can't give up the whole rebel network for one damn Jedi. Darth Vader was like, it's not just one Jedi.
And Grand Inquisitor was like, but all right.
Darth Vader said, follow Obi-Wan. And then he was like, yes, sir, Lord Vader.
He's like, all right, whatever.
I'll choke your ass.
Like, I mean, I'm going to tell you what I think, but I'm still going to do what you say.
Right.
Like, is this a wise decision? We got them right here, but okay, whatever.
So,
whatever you say, sir.
Let me paint a picture for you.
Paint a beautiful.
Okay. So the planet, which I don't think we ever actually found out the name of.
Nah, they don't mention it.
But the planet is a rocky planet. You have these giant
pillars.
Pillars of rock that have kind of like formed these like
columns.
I don't want to say like a maze, but just like spaces where you can move in and out in between. You have your boy Obi-Wan. He lands his ship. He got the big stone columns behind him. Your boy Darth Vader comes down. He lands his ship. He's got the crescent moon of whatever the satellite is of this planet is this large crescent in the sky behind him, and the two of them are facing off. And your boy Obi-Wan lights up his lightsaber.
Gets in the stance.
And Darth Vader said, "So," he's like, "Have you come to kill me?" And Obi-Wan says, "I do what I must."
Then he gets into that stance.
Number 27.
Once you see that stance, you're like, "Oh, here we go. This is gonna be a fight."
Shit. And when I'm telling you, this was a good fight. This was how you do a Jedi fight. This is what we waited for 6 episodes to see this.
Yes.
Everything else, don't get me wrong, while interesting, was boring.
Fillers.
So much of this show could have been condensed. And okay,
3 episodes.
And I have one major gripe. One major just thing that pissed me off more than anything about this fight scene. the fight scene being as good as it was,
What you mean it's in the dark?
they interrupt the fight scene because at the same time this is happening, what you see is Reva, who found out about Luke, going after him. So Reva is back on Tatooine. She's looking for Owen and his family. She finds Owen and his family, and while we're seeing the fight between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, they're flashing back to Owen and his wife
Trying to protect Luke.
protecting Luke from Reva. Now,
Don't give a shit about Reva.
don't get me wrong. If you're taking two things that are equally exciting, equally impactful, equally going on, have the same weight as far as your story is concerned, and you want to cut back and forth between those two things, I'm okay with that. Because we're talking about equal footing.
Yeah.
But with Reva chasing Luke, we already know she doesn't succeed because Luke survived. That's how we have the later movies.
And Luke has no idea about lightsabers or any of that, so we already kind of know what happens in this part.
So there's no tension on this. Right. So there's no tension on this Reva fight. Keep your goddamn camera on Obi-Wan and then Darth Vader.
Right.
And that was a hell of a fight.
Man.
So that shit at the end.
No, not even. I mean, I don't care about Reva.
Okay.
So
number 28. Your boy Obi-Wan.
Oh, before you go there, gotta set the scene for me just a little bit, because Darth Vader actually was handling Obi-Wan. I'm talking about at one point Obi-Wan tried to take one of the rocky pillars or whatever and try to crush Darth Vader with it. Darth Vader just force stopped it. It was like, okay, yeah, all right, push that shit back. And
Say your mama, bitch.
and starts, pretty much handing, Obi-Wan's ass to him, and does I would call a force to the ground.
Dude, that shit was so awesome. Okay, so we all know that the Force can push stuff, right?
But
And
this one,
okay, best thing I can compare it to, we've all seen in the comics or the cartoons where the Hulk goes smash and he like hits the ground and then you see the ground crumble underneath.
Yeah.
that's what he did.
Your boy did that move, but he did it with the Force. He literally put his hands on the ground and said, "Poof," and the ground underneath Obi-Wan just collapsed. I was like, okay, that's dope.
And Obi-Wan is now trapped in this pit that Vader just created. Now, I just wanted to hear that one little thing from Darth Vader saying, "Now I got the high ground. What's up, bitch?"
That would have been funny.
Yeah,
That would have been funny.
I have the high ground, Obi-Wan.
So while Obi-Wan's down in this pit, Darth Vader just starts piling rocks on top of him, trying to crush it. So he thinks he's dead, and he starts to walk away. And you hear him go, "Bastard," one more time, like, "Bitch."
He's like, "I'm failed."
Right.
Me.
So while then the camera cuts to Obi-Wan being under this mountain of rocks, but he's holding them back with the Force, but he's struggling and he's like, "Oh, Jesus." And so
Flashbacks.
he starts hearing voices. Leia, Tala, all of these different people, some of the other Jedi, Yoda, all these different voices in his mind telling him, like, you gotta keep going, you gotta keep pushing.
And then that last little flash on his mind, seeing Luke still as a child, like, I gotta protect.
Right, seeing Luke because the Force made him sensitive to the fact that Luke was in danger.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, "Nah, I gotta stop. I gotta get out of this." So your boy Force pushes all the rocks off of him.
Catches up to Vader.
Ooh-wee. What I'm telling you, that dude came back with a vengeance.
Yes.
Okay.
Became Jesus.
Now, I'm mad. I'm mad at M. Night Shyamalan. Why was Star Wars able to do earthbending better than Avatar: The Last Airbender? Riddle me that, Batman.
Because
Obi Wan Kenobi started picking up just rocks. He picked up a whole damn field of boulders, as you see floating behind him in number 28, and
like
he just
Jesus, like
chunking boulder after boulder after boulder at Darth Vader. Best earthbending I've seen in a movie to date. Because the movie that supposedly had earthbending couldn't do this.
That's crazy.
and had around the same budget.
Imran, sucker.
I don't know. I don't know. And then, of course, you get number 29, where they're just going at it. And I mean, they was fucking going at it.
Master
These
and
dudes
student again.
was wailing on each other. Like, I don't even use that term often, but they were wailing on each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was really going at it, man. And honestly, I like that in a lot of choreography, in a lot of the choreography in that fight scene, you could see stances and poses from some of their previous fights.
Yes.
So they were using some of the same maneuvers. So it's not like, you know, just like like back in the day, a swordsman would be known by certain maneuvers that he was really good at. And it's kind of like they're giving you that same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these dudes are known for their for certain moves. And I was even reading somewhere that there's only like a set number of forms that the Jedi uses, and Obi-Wan was proficient in the third one, and it's a defensive style, and he uses it for combat. So it's a defensive style, but he uses it for offense, which I thought was pretty cool.
I did like that one with Obi-Wan with the
Behind the back pass.
behind the back pass to the other hand. That was nice.
And he stole that from Anakin. But anyway, so long story short, they're going at it, they're beating on each other, and winds up Obi-Wan gets the upper hand. And at one point he swings his lightsaber and it takes off like half of Darth Vader's helmet.
Oh, before you even go there, the reason he got the hat, because I don't know why people don't go for that chest plate in the middle of Darth Vader shit. Obi-Wan capitalized on it. He started fucking up that chest plate. And then you can hear Darth Vader breathing, getting harder and harder. He was like, oh shit, he hit my respirator. Shit, I need that.
I don't need that to breathe.
I got asthma now.
Got his helmet off though.
But yeah.
After a backslash, and then Obi-Wan was like, you know what? After another fourth pushing Vader back, he jumped. He just he does this jump, and he just right across the fucking helmet, and then you see the reveal of, pretty much you see
Hayden
the reveal.
Christensen in the costume.
Yes,
in the full costume
with all the scars and everything.
This is where you have an emotional moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish this out.
Because your boy Obi-Wan basically looks at Anakin and he starts apologizing. He's like, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean for this to turn out like that. And the best thing that Darth Vader could have said for somebody like Obi-Wan was his response, which was, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. He said, I did. So you're not responsible for how I've become. I made myself.
But I still had to come get the nigga that burnt me up in a volcano. Fuck that.
But that's when Obi-Wan realizes just how far gone his former student, his brother, his best friend is.
Anakin is
just
dead.
how far gone he is.
Yeah, Anakin is dead.
All right, cool. I'm done with this. I'm out. Peace.
And then you get that. When I heard that, it reminded me. I forget. I think it was not New Hope or whatever. Where Obi-Wan was explaining to Luke that Darth Vader killed your father, and that's what he was reference to. It's like, I didn't do shit. your dad,
Darth Vader killed your daddy.
I ain't do shit.
Wasn't me.
So
5 out of 10.
Man, I give this
the last episode,
5 out of 10. I might
For
give
the
it
whole
a
season. For the whole series.
for the whole series. Okay, for the whole series, because of the last couple of episodes, 5 and 6, I will give it a 7. I will give it a 7 out of 10.
I give it about a 6. But because it took so long to get to this shit. That's all I'm mad about.
Dude, the whole first 3 episodes really could have been one episode.
Right. Go to the other one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
It's
And,
about all the time we
and
got.
if anybody disagrees with me, let's fight in the comments.
You know?
Put that in the video.
All right, we about to head out.
So, smoke sessions, peace. Don't forget to tell them where to come check out
Hey,
all the other new shit coming.
listen. Go to our website, www.thedailysmoke.com. That's THA, dailysmoke.com. Please go check it out. We're going to let y'all know when these new shows are going to be coming out. Keep an eye out for it. Of course, if you follow us on social media, we're always going to put up, when the new episodes are coming out on our social media. So please go to the website, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook. And we'll always make sure that information is put up where you can get reminders if you need them.
Mm-hmm.
So, www.thedailysmoke.com. If you want to find out what's going on with us, and if you want to donate, $TD Smoke. We appreciate it. Even though this is coming to an end or coming to a pause for right now, I'll say. Like I said, don't think that means we're taking a break. We are definitely going to be at work for you, trying to do more things for y'all, trying to do different things for y'all that we hope you'll find more interesting. Because we have to be honest with ourselves. Based on the numbers, this just wasn't working. So we're going to try something a little bit different. As a matter of fact, we're going to try something a little bit different.
One of the twins, activate.
Hey, man.
More
It's
shit
on the
coming.
pop. Huh?
More shit is coming.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. And please don't forget to check out our partner at
Bang.
Bangin' 832 Radio.
Don't you say it the other way around.
832 Bangin'. No. But bangin832.com. They do broadcast some of our podcast episodes on Sunday. So in case you ever miss us, you want to go check out something on Sunday afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
please go to their website and check it out. At the same time, they do have other content. They're a radio station, so they have music. They have other interviews and podcasts and things like that. So please check them out. That's bangin832.com. Go on the website and check us out and look at the other things that they have. But I think that's it, man.
Yeah.
Brothers, I really do appreciate all the hard work and effort y'all put in helping trying to make these smoke sessions into what they did become, which honestly I enjoy doing them, but at the same time,
Yeah.
we just not getting the views that we like.
Yeah, we want to
But-
push out some better
Better
content
content.
for you. So
But Brother Los, Brother B, thank y'all, man, for y'all hard work and y'all, this would not be possible without the two of y'all, brothers. So I just wanted to give y'all a hand clap
Thank you.
while we're
Thank
here,
you.
and just trust me. I look forward to continuing what we're doing, because the things that we got coming up, y'all.
It'll be good.
When I'm telling you, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But anything else you wanted to add, brother?
nope.
Yeah.
You covered it all.
But
man.
yeah,
All
we
right,
basically did.
I'm your boy, Brother Jim.
Brother Blackhand.
For the low summer camp.
And for the final time, thank you for joining us on the smoke session. We love you. Peace. We out.
Peace.
Peace.